Okay, I am live, so let's go live. Um, Let me allow YouTube to build up the audience. And hello, everyone in Periscope world, Facebook world. Right, I'm doing some things. I read some of my comments on my video, so let me know how my sound is once you all come in, because someone asked on my videos, do I have a microphone popper? And I'm like, yeah, I have a microphone popper, but I didn't, I don't know the purpose of having it. So I just decided to add the popper for maybe the person was an audio person, right? I don't know. And in doing some research about the microphone, I heard it was best to position it this angle, even though I don't really like the camera view. So let me know as you all are coming in. Thank you. Team Motor Production, maybe you says I'm good. So let me know as you all are coming in how the sound is and how everything is sounding, because I'm not directly in front of my microphone, but I have the microphone popper that came with the microphone for some reason. And I probably will go back and watch this video just to see if it makes a difference in the sound or the quality of the sound. I don't know. And so I was just lounging around, and I've read this book that I recommended for you all, Bitcoin and Black America. And I saw something in the book today that I didn't notice the first time that I read it, right? And so I began to research it. And in this book, hello, Melvin from St. Louis, right? I know I'm going right into the topic, right? Look at avatar picture, Melvin. Nice avatar picture from St. Louis. So in reading this book, something stood out to me that I didn't notice previously in reading the book. And it says the credentials needed to receive investment are governed by a social credit score, right? A social credit score. This score allows entrepreneurs to submit information about their business and become more visible to investors. Information such as your EIN, your cash flow, your employees and business sector decrease the risk associated with using Bitcoin to invest in a business. Moreover, global investment is a possible because there are no barriers to Bitcoins or altcoins. So I began to do a little research, a little due diligence. Hello, millionaires are us. Happy holidays to you as well. So I began to do some research and due diligence on this social credit score. So as you all are coming in, make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you are in the live chat, make sure you just hit the thumbs up. Notify everyone that I am live streaming, right? And you are on the correct channel. I was texting my friend, and I told people that I'm going with my natural, so you may see me just a habit when I live stream, playing with my hair and things of that nature. And so natural is a little bit more challenging to upkeep, right? I got in the shower today and the humidity just puffed it all out, and I tried to rewrap it. So it's definitely more of a challenge, right, to upkeep than my braids, my crochet braids. But you are on the right channel. I am known in the credit and cash flow world as the queen of credit, right? Because I help people transform their personal credit from bad to good and from good to great, right? And then revision their credit to invest in cash flowing true assets, right? And so in reading this book, it brought out the social credit score, right? Social credit score. So I did some research and due diligence on that. I wanted to know what the social credit score entails, right? What it will involve. Thank you, Mark and Jesus. It's not Jesus. I'm sorry. I thought that was Jesus. Study in progress. I never seen you on my live stream. Your avatar picture looks like one of my moderators, Jesus from California, right? So study in progress. Thank you so much for that compliment. Really appreciate it. And looking at this social credit score, right? It seems to be a very big deal. I thought that our FICO 10 would consist of or entail would be looking at your 2-year credit history, right? And that was the biggest component of the FICO 10, looking at your 2-year credit history versus a 30-day or 60-day credit history, making it even more difficult for people to get approved for credit, right? Or more challenging. Exactly. Right. But as I look into this topic today, I think that FICO 10 is going to be a little bit more detailed or systematic on the surface than what I initially thought. And probably a lot of people that do credit, right, and credit repair than what we initially thought. So the social credit score is already in China, right? And this is going to be a very, I think, eye-opening live stream. And you know, most people that go into deep detail, they refer to them as conspiracy theory. And I really don't like my microphone at this angle, but I did some research and it said, because I type a lot on my keyboard, that this was the best angle for live streaming. I really like it at the other angle, but I'm going to try it just to see how my sound is, if it's any difference in the sound with this popper and microphone adjusted, and see if it makes any difference. So I will go back and watch this. I'm assuming someone that knows more about audio than I do, that left a comment, is trying to help me improve my live streaming or my podcast, right? So let me show you this video after I did some research about the social credit score, because the FICO 10 may be bigger than what I think, right? Because I've already come before you all and informed you that the digital dollar, more like an digital wallet, January 1st by the IMF, the International Monetary System, right? We're going to see if this is going to be a very deep live stream, right? So you have to get with me. A lot of times I don't like to go live into details about issues like this, because people would like to label you as conspiracy theorists, like to label you, let me adjust this microphone, as, you know, one of those persons that's, and let me know if the mic is good. I'm just going to move it out the way just a little bit. It's not directly in front of my mouth, but, you know, one of those people that's deep in the rabbit hole or the matrix, right? But I watched this video, and there's not many videos on YouTube about the social credit score, right? I watched this video about the social credit score, and I need you all to be with me on this live stream. I have 2 powerful videos, right? 2 powerful videos that I'm going to share. Team Media already is worth my time. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, because you have to be a bold person to really get on social media and reveal to people, to help them prepare for what's upcoming in this economy, right? And I'm telling people all the time that 2021 will be a year like no other, as far as the economy, as far as financially. Listen, I'm going to stop sharing this for a minute. I'm here in Mississippi, for example. I just read an article that Mississippi has 600,000 people, right, filing for unemployment. 600,000 people. Now, this is some even more breaking news. I may share this with you all from CNBC that the Fed is weighing against bond purchases to provide more for the economy soon, fairly soon. So you're looking at bonds market that will be lowered. You're looking at the dollar that's going to be highly depreciated. This is why everything is systematically planned in FICO 10. And I think the news on today concerning unemployment is that nationwide we have over 700,000+ people filed for new unemployment today. So I'm telling you, this live stream is worth everything, moving you into 2021 so you can know what's going on, right? So you can just know what's going on. Emery says, I'm now able to trade Bitcoin on Webull. Okay, Emery, glad you are trading Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one of those cryptocurrency that I hold for the long term, right? Because when you trade it, you are simply still converting it and liquidating it into dollars or cash, and dollars are losing their purchasing power. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are two that I am holding for the long term. I'm also into altcoins, stable coins, a lot of profound things on my comments today concerning the altcoins like XRP. I made a live stream that Bank of America, for example, became partnership or clients with XRP. And one of my followers that watched my video, right, made a comment or left a comment that that's why Warren Buffett stayed in Bank of America, because of their partnership with XRP. So I will definitely see if I can pull those comments up and pull those articles up as well. So let's talk about why the social credit system, will FICO 10 implement this, and what does this mean for your finances, for your credit, and your cash flow moving forward?
Long before hard drives, credit used to be linked to your personal credibility and not your bank account. In the 18th century, to convince someone to lend money to you meant first gathering up your closest friends, relatives, and acquaintances to vouch for your character. Imagine a man named Frank in your town. Frank is the town drunk. Everyone knows him as the guy who never pays his bills. He hasn't paid the barman for his drinks in 2 months, and Ted, the local accountant, saw him stealing a loaf of bread from the baker a few weeks ago. If Frank was to try to borrow money within his town, who would vouch for him? Credit used to be personal, as in it was based on how you behaved and the character judgments of those around you. So if you behaved with honor and integrity, you had great credit. We'll call this system community credit. Communities are great judges of character because they know a lot about a person. After all, who knows you better than your oldest friends? Now let's jump forward to 1989 and the creation of the first ever FICO credit score. A FICO score is a number that lenders can use to determine how likely you are to pay back your debts based on how you've handled debt in the past. FICO replaced character judgments with data, converting raw data into a single number representing a person's credit. Since these scores are just zeros and ones, they are super cheap. Running a credit check on someone will cost you around $20, and this cheapness is vital for FICO to work. When a landlord is screening candidates, they need a way to quickly and cheaply compare candidates without spending thousands of dollars. So for FICO, cheapness is almost as important as accuracy. By asking data to replace human character judgments, FICO put a lot of pressure on that data. So much pressure, in fact, that experts have never really believed that FICO scores were a great predictor of risk. But now you're thinking, isn't risk exactly what credit scores are supposed to predict? The answer, of course, is yes. But in order to accurately predict risk, you need more data, a lot more. This was 1989, when computers could barely render Super Mario Bros. In color, let alone simulate human character judgments. To move forward, FICO didn't have many options. Either turn back to the days of old and incorporate human character judgments again, or move forward and press further into the data. On the one hand, they know community credit works. After all, it's what's gotten humanity this far. On the other hand, human judgment is slow and expensive. You can't go around asking a person's entire social circle what they think about them. After all, that'll take way too long and cost way too much money. Plus, human judgments change all the time. But by now, the pressure was on. In order for Fico to remain banks' #1 choice as a proxy for lending risk, they had to improve, and they had to improve fast. There was only one thing for it. Fico had to continue pursuing the data. Over the years, your credit score has become more and more advanced, fed by an ever-growing supply of this data. Initially, only financial data factored into your credit score, but over time, more and more things have been added to it. Utility and telecom bills are now staples of your credit report. So miss a bill with T-Mobile, or miss a rent payment, that will affect your credit score. This so-called alternative data has grown, and it has a massive impact on your credit report already. Digital everything has made Fico a lot better. Each individual in the United States has about 60 different credit scores from a bunch of different reporting agencies. That is a lot of information. Let's move across the world briefly and talk about China. See, China has a different sort of credit system. It's called social credit, and it's slated to go live in 2020. Social credit goes way beyond personal finance and extends well into a person's individual private life. You can't opt into or out of social credit. The government uses facial recognition and a vast network of cameras in order to identify and categorize every behavior of every.
Okay, I'm going to pause here where it states the government uses facial recognition and a wide variety of cameras, right? Now, I'm pausing here because most people don't understand why China, starting with Wuhan, and then coming to the United States, and then you even have Africa with ACON, with the cryptocurrencies. Nationwide, right, countries had to adopt 5G technology. If you know anything about 5G, you know it began, its origins of it was in Wuhan, right? If you know anything about 5G, you know the origins of it was in Wuhan. And so the biggest thing that I thought about 5G was, okay, it's going to be artificial intelligence, which means more self-driving trucks, more self-driving vehicles. Now robots will, replace jobs, more robotic jobs, and people will be out of the workforce. However, I never, until today, connected 5G with the implementation of the social credit system, right? The social credit system. So let me share this and I'll finish the video.
Every citizen at all times. So if you ride the train without paying, that's going to hurt the old credit score. Don't pay for parking? That'll hurt the credit too. It's not just public activity either. Individuals' private messages, healthcare records, and shopping history all factor into social credit too. Every individual's entire electronic life are included in their social credit score. And the cost of having low social credit can be severe. If your credit score drops low enough, you won't be allowed to ride on public transportation. If it drops even further, your kids won't be allowed into certain schools. The amount of data the Chinese government has about its people is staggering, and they have the means to identify it, score it, and put it all together. So it seems like China is making a lot more use of data than the United States, but is that true? The answer is, it sort of isn't. The United States doesn't have the same centralization of power that China does, so the effects of bad credit aren't as far-reaching. But that doesn't mean that companies like Fico aren't taking a few leaves out of China's data everywhere book. What started out for Fico as including utility bills, T-Mobile bills, rent payments, has quickly grown to include your entire transaction history.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there for a minute. Now, right, exactly. Facial recognition is absolutely gone. And this is what people don't understand, is that there were many people who were promoting do-it-yourself credit repair and informing people to go and add the Ultra Fico, right, options to their credit scores, right? Ultra Fico was especially offered on Experian as an opportunity to give you a higher credit score by adding your utility bills. And then it also included the balance that you keep in your checking account. Do you keep over a $400 balance? If so, right, you will see a raise in your credit score. Do you pay your bills on time? And so this was the Ultra Fico. However, I never advised my clients that I was working with to use the ultra FICO score, because I knew, right, that even though for them it would appear that they have a higher credit score, that when you go to your banks and your lenders, that they will not use the ultra FICO score model. However, this was just preparation to get people so that FICO can collect all the data about you that they could. Now, I want you all to stay with me, because you're going to see how January 1st, 2021, how this is going to tie into the new digital wallet, and how the tracking of your spending and your activities is going to be more highly traced. Also, did you all know that debt collectors can now contact you on your social media platforms? Right? I'm going to share that article with you, but we're going to finish dissecting or watching this video.
This new system that FICO has brought out is called Ultra FICO, and it's super powerful. By signing up for the Ultra FICO system, you give them full access to all of your transaction history. This means they know what you're buying, when you're buying it, and how much it costs. FICO claim that by signing up for this Ultra FICO system, you might just be able to qualify for a loan where you otherwise wouldn't be able to. But how exactly does this work? Ultra FICO uses machine learning, a kind of trained computer model. This model can predict how your spending behavior will relate to your risk of defaulting on your loan. These systems are really effective. They can predict these kind of things with astonishing accuracy. So now FICO's profile of a low-risk applicant has expanded to include how often you eat at McDonald's, how many vacations you go on in a year, and how many times in a week you eat at Froyo. All of this data means that FICO's accuracy goes up, way up. The predictive power of machine learning is enormous. And Ultra FICO gives credit scores the data they need to not only meet, but exceed the accuracy of the old community credit system. But what else can we figure out by looking deeply into a person's personal financial data? Race, gender, and sexual orientation are all built into your financial history. If you pass enough data through the right algorithm, almost any individual attribute becomes highly predictable. Are men more or less likely to shop at women's clothing stores? Are straight people more or less likely to go to gay bars? Are white people more or less likely to go camping? There's no doubt that Ultra FICO improves the accuracy of credit scores. But is that improvement a result of implicitly factoring in attributes that banks have no business looking at? The short answer is we don't know. Machine learning is really cryptic. With community credit, I can walk up to your friend and ask him why he thinks you're a good person to lend money to. And he might say, you're honest, you're trustworthy, and you always return things that you borrow. Great. Machine learning doesn't do us that courtesy. I feed in your data set, and it spits out a set of numbers. Those numbers represent how well your data matched our training data for the attributes that we care about. Those attributes would include things like how often you shop, where you shop, and how much you spend, among hundreds or thousands of other possible features in the data. It's possible that some values of these attributes correlate highly with being white, black, gay, or straight, whatever. But the machine learning doesn't care, and filtering them or excluding them isn't realistic. All of the data is mashed together. For FICO, there really is no turning back. Machine learning algorithms fed by these massive supplies of data are now the norm in business. More and more Silicon Valley-based lenders are popping up every day that say that they look at more than your credit history to determine.
Okay, so he said more and more Silicon Valley-based lenders. All right, you know, Silicon Valley in California, more on your profile, right? Everything is about power and control, right? Emery asked, do I think that Bitcoin has something to do with it? This is just my opinion about Bitcoin. And I tell people all the time that I am not an expert on crypto. I am learning and studying more about crypto, right? I do not believe that crypto will be a quote unquote currency for the everyday people, right? If you see anything, you see more billionaires are coming into the crypto market. I think Bitcoin coming more into the Bitcoin market. I think Bitcoin will be used for large products, large developments, large financial projects, for example, such as big landscaping projects, things like that. And I think Bitcoin will reach such a high pricing that only the big people with billionaire type status will be able to use it. I think Bitcoin will continue its bull run in the market, maybe for the next 5 to 10 years. I think the Federal Reserve does have control over Bitcoin, but it would allow Bitcoin to continue to be that decentralized coin. Now, I do believe that with Bitcoin, it will not be the coin that's used for everyday purchases. I think that more cryptocurrencies, right, such as, let me see, because every altcoin and every crypto has a function, right? So you have Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and I'm just looking at my notes, and maybe Dash. Those are 3 coins that I'm studying right now that may be for the everyday consumer and for everyday purchases. Now I'm going to go into XRP, and one of my people made a comment on my videos concerning XRP, right? And that I didn't know about Warren Buffett's connection with XRP and Bank of America. Now, let me share this with you all as well. Thank you. There's Jesus. He's in. Jesus, when I first saw this avatar from Study in Progress, I really thought that was you. I just looked at the black and white. So Jesus is in California. I'm not really sure how the Silicon Valley social credit score works. However, I can tell you that credit is now going more into the field or platform of your social credit score. And this is why that video allowed me to connect the dots. I saw this article. I didn't really want to do a live stream on it. I just, kind of looked over it. Okay, no big deal. Debt collectors will now be able to contact you on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, some people may be thinking, see, that's why I don't do social media, right? That's why, yes, Ethereum, right? Emery says she noticed that as soon as I'm assuming you're saying your son uses your credit cards, you get a notification. Okay. And so I saw this article. It was actually released in October, and I didn't think more of it. I said, I want to do a live stream on this. But when I started digging into social credit scoring, right, it all brought the pieces of the puzzles together for me. So it's now stating debt collectors will be able to contact you on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. A new CFPE, right, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. The Consumer Finance Protection Bureau oversees, or they are in charge of the 3 credit agencies: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So they have given the authority of collection agencies more ways to find you. Here's what to do if they come after you, according to this article, right? And this is directly from Consumer Reports. If this box will allow me to, because I don't want to become a member, but it states, and I'll just read it so because this box won't go away. A new rule finalized, and this was October 23rd, by the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, will let or allow debt collectors to contact consumers, not just by phone now, as previously permitted, but also by email, text message, even using platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You have to look at also Facebook is coming out with LibreCoin, right? Facebook is in charge of Instagram. So once this new rule takes effect, it says a year from today. So this is coming to effect in 2021, right? Which is approximately a year for today. So let's look at maybe around October 2021. collection agencies will be allowed to contact you more frequently. They will be able to use place up to 7 debt collection phone calls per week. That's against the law right now, that they can call you that many times. But now under this new law that's implemented around October 2021, they'll be able to place up to 7 phone calls per week under some circumstances or more. So people that were stressed about debt collectors calling their jobs, well, they're going to legally be able to contact you more legally now, as well as, listen at this, unlimited number of texts and emails and social media private posts. So the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau noted and announced that today that consumers can opt out of all electronic communication with debt collectors. How you'll be able to do that, though, they haven't worked those intricate details out. So the rule clarifies that debt collectors can use email, text messages, social media, and other contemporary methods. So this falls into the social media or the social economic platform, right? Smokey Joe Harris, you are absolutely right. That's gangster, baby. And I tell people all the time that your social credit score, and this is in this book, Bitcoin and Black America, that your student loans and debt collectors are the real OGs, right? They are the real OGs. They're the real original gangsters, right? So Lewis says, so it's time to leave in comments and profile. Well, let me tell you about the social credit scoring system, right? Let me tell you about the social credit scoring system. If this is implemented January the 1st, now, do I know if the dollar will be done away with? I don't know. I don't know if the physical printed paper will be absolutely done away with, right? I do know that you will receive more notifications from your bank or credit union about a digital wallet, right? It's going to be on a digital wallet platform. It says with digital wallet, you can link your card to your digital wallet service, and you won't need to carry a wallet, meaning a physical wallet, right, for your in-store purchases. So you will not need to carry a physical wallet anymore for in-store purchases. You can pay with your smartphone, your tablet, or your smartwatch through Apple Pay, Google Pay, and Samsung Pay. This is what, right, exactly. Insurance company, thank you, Emery, can look at your social media. And if you're doing activities on your social media, right, drinking, smoking, that they seems to be high risk, right, they could increase or totally take away your insurance policy, right? And so you have to be more careful now. Even any type of social behavior that they seem that's inappropriate, you have to be careful. Even me, right, sharing this information on YouTube. They may not want this information shared and given out to the general public, and it could maybe, make a strike against my social credit score. And I truly believe that FICO 10 that is scheduled to be implemented in December of this year is going to entail that and allow that. Now, with your digital wallet, you may or may not receive notification from your bank or credit union that you are in a digital wallet platform, but you will be given the options to have your digital wallet and download it on your phone. Now, what does this mean? Or maybe just a tap to pay option, right? What this means is the Federal Reserve, right, the OGs, will be able to, whether you say, okay, that's why I'm not going to do social media. I'm not going to do Twitter. I'm not going to do Instagram. I'm not going to do Facebook. They will be able to track every spending or everything that you spend through these digital wallets, right? So if they feel like you're spending too much on alcohol, right, or you're spending too much on maybe I don't know, edibles or things that are risky behaviors, right? And I don't think I shared this. Let me go back and share this video. In Vegas, for example, in Vegas, Las Vegas, it's already noted that people have spotted cameras in the cactus that's strategically hidden, not in plain sight. And so with this, I just assume that people or they were installing more 5G type Wi-Fi technology, but now there are, now if you're driving in traffic and a policeman or policewoman does not have to physically be present to see that you ran a stop sign or that you didn't stop or you didn't yield, and you can still be submitted a ticket. This is the same thing, right? Surveillance cameras more available throughout the United States to watch your behavior. And now this new digital coin, right? This new digital wallet is going to be able to track everything that you spend your money on, every transaction. So Melvin says, my credit unions already start advertising. Yes, and this is an advertising. This is how I have this, because my daughter is starting a new account with Navy Federal, and they already advertised to her about the digital wallet. So banks, every bank, every credit union, so it's no escaping, right? It's no escaping. And so this is something that's already set up on the Silicon Valley type credit scoring system in which you will be tracked. So now debt collectors, and did you know also under this social credit system that if you are a person who have late payments, negative or bad credit, you, could be denied for credit based off the social credit system, because things like late payments and derogatory collections and charge-off will also be accounted into as well. People, this is all a part. Everything is strategically designed, right? Marvin says Chris Larson has spent $4 million in California, trailing smart city. Yes. And this is all going to tie into credit. I can't come before you right now and to tell you that the old methods of credit disputing will help people improve their credit anymore. I can't tell you that. I really won't know until January of 2021 what this new credit scoring model will look like, right? Because did you all know, for example, that they are offering a $20,000 loan against your Bitcoin, right? That's a no credit check. Let me pull that article up. A no credit check loan, Coinbase offer Bitcoin-based cash loans up to $20,000. So this is on Coinbase. So if you default on this loan, right, meaning, now the Bitcoin will be used, and that's why I think Bitcoin is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. I think its value is going to increase. And I think that people that don't possess some type of Bitcoin right now, it's at $18,799, right? But I think if you don't possess some type of Bitcoin, and if you don't have some type of security wallet, whether it be a hard wallet or digital wallet, to secure your Bitcoin with the key code, right? You definitely will shift from middle class to lower class as far as your economic status. So this is Coinbase. offering Bitcoin based, and it's only in 17 states right now. I do think that they will eventually expand this to more states. I know Georgia, Texas are two of them, but it's a bit, and that's why I don't think Bitcoin is going anywhere. It is an asset, right? So the U.S. Crypto Exchange will start offering Bitcoin-backed cash loans to selected customers as early as this next month. This article, let me see, was released August 14th, 2020. And investors can borrow up to 30% of the Bitcoin they hold in the exchange, or a maximum, which is greater, of $20,000. And so the service charges for this loan is an annual 8% interest rate. Right now is available in these states, right? Alaska, Arkansas, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, North Carolina, Oregon, Texas, Virginia, Nebraska, Utah, Wisconsin, and Wyoming, right? And so Bitcoin is definitely an asset. And they're offering $20,000 cashback loans at 8% interest, which is 30% of your Bitcoin, or whichever is the greatest, right? And so Bitcoin is definitely an asset into moving into this great reset into 2021. Team Production Mata, I think I'm pronouncing it right. Production says, hopefully this will propel us to grow our own food and give up anything that can be detrimental to us, having strikes against us. They groomed us for creating social media. Yes, they did. They groom you. There were so many different articles and research on people that were totally addicted to social media, right? When they wake up, the first thing that they do is on their social media, they get on their Facebook, right? They have to get on the Facebook or their Instagram. That, everyone, I almost have a social media account, or they keep up with what's going on. Just think about it, people. You get updates about the news quicker or faster through YouTube and Twitter than you do your television, right? And again, some people may say that, well, I'll just delete my social media account. I won't do social media. Well, if you do that, number one, you're going to lose out an opportunity to promote yourself, promote your business products, another income opportunity, right? Because even TikTok now has business advertising available. And so you almost have to be in the social media world to have any type of second form of income. Now, what can you do? You can definitely play smart and not put anything that will lower your social credit score on social media. The drinking, the partying, the lifestyle that maybe insurances would deem to be risky, right? Anything that shows you in a dim light, right? Definitely if you have to use social media. But then you have some people who just use social media to expose truth and knowledge, like I am doing now. It may or may not go with what they want or approve what they want. In China, for example, if you have a low social credit score, you are not able to travel outside of a 50-mile radius, right? And so also, once everything is moved to a digital wallet system through your banks and credit union, for example, and let's just say Joe Biden, right, decides that he wants to do a national lockdown in the country and say no one travels outside of their states, right? If you decide to travel out of your state and you are on a digital wallet system or digitalized system or electronic system, right, through your banking institution, it's very possible that you can travel outside of your state into another state or 2 states or 3 states over or 5 states, whatever the situation may be, and you will not be able to purchase gas to get back into your state or to travel, right? Because everything now through the feds is systematically set up to track your every spending. And because you all may not know, but every dollar, right? Every dollar has serial numbers on them. And things like giving people cash for their birthdays could not be traced. Or a lot of the illegal drug activity could not necessarily be traced by the dollar. Now, through a digitalized system, all of your expenditure, no more giving cash for birthday and birthday cards or anniversary gifts without that money being taxed. So what's going to happen is now we're going to have higher taxation, right? I really think the paper dollar will be more done away with, and everything will be more digitalized. Whether they say it's because of this health pandemic and it carry, germs longer, whatever the situation may be. So the tracking of your spending now can be more highly monitored, right? And this is going to highly affect your credit score and as well as your social credit score. So although Bitcoin may be not under quote unquote government control, once the dollar is so devalued, because it's already devalued, it's lost 98% of its purchasing power, right? Before 1971, when the dollars was taken or removed from the gold standard, meaning that you could convert this paper currency for real money, which is gold or silver, up to 1971, you could be a person that had made a $75,000 annual income, one household income, and could very well live off of that one household $75,000 income. Well, a $75,000 income is not enough in today's standard in 2020, right? That same $75,000 that a person would be considered rich or very high middle class, you're considered lower middle class, right? You're definitely not considered high middle class. And you definitely could not live in states like California and Florida on a $75,000 one income budget, right? And so now things like farmland, right? More people, it's 41% of housing sales increased by 41% over this past year because people are moving out of the high income states into the more affordable, right, states such as California, right, such as Arizona, such as Florida, that have no state tax, more affordability, and so they can have access to more farmland, so they can have control more of their own agriculture, right? I just read a newspaper today discussing the food shortage in grocery stores and the water shortage, right? And so I'm going to share this video with you all as well. And I think that I will be signing out. But this was another powerful video by President Trump, that was 6 years old. He talks about how America is ruined, and China is pretty much laughing. Did you all know, for example, that China has accumulated over 20 tons of gold over the last couple of years? And they are made more alliances with Iran and Russia, right? And Spain. And so we don't know how much gold is in America right now. The last audit that was done to see how much gold we actually have in our federal banks in the United States of America was in 1950. No one truly knows how much gold the Federal Reserve has. So what does it matter, Queen, how much gold? Well, gold is money, right? And as the dollar continues to lose its purchasing power, the value of price goes up. And the country that has the gold has the true money and true wealth, has and holds the power. So we don't know how much gold has. Let me put that article up on China real quick before I show you all this video. Current President Trump. China also moves away from the US dollar. China also, and Russia made a big contract without using the US dollar. You know, the US dollar was the currency that all countries had to negotiate and have dealings with. For example, Saudi Arabia, United States and Saudi Arabia had a deal that only their oil could be purchased with the US dollar, right? And so let's look at, this is July, China Gold Holdings, July of 2020. Is much higher, right? China revises up its gold reserves and bid for IMF. Now, I talked about the IMF, the International Monetary Fund membership and currency status. The International Monetary Fund is the top tier. And then you have the Federal Reserve banks that are under that. The Federal Reserve banks serve your local banks. The local banks serve you. Federal Reserve banks are the ones that hold the gold, right? Especially the one in New York. So China announced a 604 increase, 604 tons of gold increase. This is the first public disclosure in 2009 that we actually know how much China had. China officially owns around 1,660 tons of gold reserves. And they're saying the figure is much likely going to be higher, right? And China True Gold Holding is much higher, right? As it owns golds in SAFE and CIC. So China Gold's reserve mystery ends. So we know how much China holds. Now they're saying that United States gold earnings are 8,000 tons, and that we still own more than Germany, Italy, France, and China, and Russia. However, the United States have not had an audit on their gold reserves since 1950. So I'm not saying it's not true, but we don't know that to be the truth, right? And so China has increased in their contracts. They're moving away from the US debt. They're making negotiation without the US dollar, right? And Saudi Arabia removed the US dollar, and that's why we call it the petrodollar. But now Saudi Arabia has removed that you no longer have to use the US dollars to purchase their oil with. So let's watch this powerful, very powerful video by President Trump. Again, this was June 1st, 2014. June 1st, 2014. Give me 1 second. I think my sound. 6 years ago. Oh, you all are not seeing it. Let me share this.
United States doing well. So Russia and China now are unifying and they're getting together. Then you have Iraq. Okay? We spend $2 trillion in Iraq. 2 trillion. Think of this number. This number is not even a number that you, honestly, 10 years ago, you didn't hear the word trillion. So we spend 2 trillion, and more importantly, thousands of lives, including lives on the other side, by the way. I mean, okay, some people say, oh, who cares? I care. Okay, destroyed. And what we did is we took this country and so weakened it. You know, it was always Iran and Iraq, and they'd fight. One country would go 2 feet over here, the other country would 2 feet. Then after like 10 years, it'd settle and they'd start all over again. You know, they had some, well, we've destroyed that country. We've destroyed that country. But we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives, tens of thousands of wounded warriors all over the streets, you're seeing. We can't even call them. They won't even return our call because China's buying their oil. China thinks we are truly the dumbest people on earth. China now is buying a big portion of their oil. They're being controlled by Iran, which I said a long time ago. And then when I made the statement, because it looked to me like it was going down the tubes, why don't we take their oil? You know, we are at war. People said, what a terrible thing to say. Now you call Iraq, they won't even take our phone call. Think of it. They won't even take our call. Now, an interesting thing happened in Afghanistan. Nobody knew that Afghanistan has tremendous minerals and tremendous wealth in minerals. I ever thought this was a country that didn't have that, but they have tremendous wealth in minerals. Well, we're fighting over here, and on the other side of the mountain, China is brilliantly, I don't say negatively, they're smart. They're brilliantly taking all the minerals. So we're fighting here, big mountains. We're fighting here, China's taking the minerals on the other side. And I'd say to myself, how is it possible that we can be so stupid? An interesting thing happened the other day. I'm reading the front page of the New York Times, #1 story, #1 column, that we can't make a deal with Japan for agriculture. Now think of this. We can't make a deal. Japan will not allow our farmers to put food and sell food in Japan. Hey, I like the Japanese too. I like everybody that buys apartments from Trump, okay? Very interesting, but I do. But I respect them. I respect people. You know, the fact that their leaders are much smarter than our leaders, that doesn't make me dislike them. It makes me respect them. So I'm reading this article that Japan won't let us even think about putting our food in Japan. And then I'm looking at boats with millions of cars pouring into this country, tax-free, made in Japan. And I'm saying, who are our negotiators? I mean, if I was negotiating, I'd say, fellas, you're going to take our food and you're going to love it. You're going to love our food. I mean, the food is peanuts compared to what we're talking about, peanuts. So you say to yourself, how is it possible that Japan would have the nerve to say, we're not going to take small potatoes, some farming goods from the United States farmers. It's great product. Everybody admits that. It's not like it's tainted or problems. It's great product, better than what they can do. So they say, we're not taking your product, but by the way, we're selling you millions of cars. Look at the size of these massive car companies. And it's because of the United States. No tax, tax-free. So all you'd have to do if you're sitting down, I guarantee you this, if I was the negotiator for that deal, you'd have so much food pouring into Japan right now, they wouldn't know what to do with it. They wouldn't know what to do with it. So I say to myself, why aren't we smart? We used to be brilliant. We used to be a brilliant country. We're not a brilliant country anymore. We're a foolish country. We're a dumb country. We have leadership that is either something wrong with them, or they're not intelligent, or there's something wrong. Maybe it's lobbyists. You know, I hear the lobbyists are so powerful in Washington. Maybe it's lobbyists. Maybe you have to do something about that, because maybe Japan and maybe the Middle Eastern states. I mean, look at this. I heard a number today that since 1931, we have more oil reserves in this country in terms of storage reserves than we've had since 1931. Think of that. And yet the price is at an all-time high. Now, I went to Wharton Graduate School.
So this is 6 years ago. You all see where we are. Oil drop. He said since 1931, we've had more oil reserves in this country, right? And I'm going to finish playing the rest of the video. Let's read some comments. Team Model Production says, we need Trump for another 4 years. This is what you don't see on mainstream media. Team Model. I don't know what your race is, but if you people in the Black and brown community heard that, they would go ballistic, right? And I tell people all the time, me personal, I don't agree with necessarily Trump's beliefs, right? That white supremacist people that practice white supremacists are great people. I don't necessarily believe in his principles, right? I definitely believe in his policies. And you know what about Trump? You know, people thought for years that everything that came out of his mouth was just ignorance. It's just whatever's on his mind come out of his mouth type mindset. However, I'm telling you, people that really study this economy and you really listen to him, much of what he was saying was the truth, right? He got destroyed for saying that this thing was a hoax. Well, if you study the economy, you can see how convenient this health epidemic just so happened to be. And that all times during the economy, like in 1930s, the Great Depression, you first heard of the bird flu. And then in the 1980s, in 87, the stock market crashed. Now came the Batman flu. And then in 2008, you had Ebola. And it was so many different other diseases that always follow an economic crash in the economy, right? And people never look at what new things such as 5G and radiation that's been released in the economy that could very well tie into people, the sickness that people have received. And now that you understand how this social media score, how artificial intelligence and AI, and how the tracking of your behavior on social media will tie into maybe your credit scores. I know someone made a joke. Well, this is what we're talking about with FICO 10, right? That I think that FICO 10 is going to incorporate this, under the social credit score. I thought FICO 10 on the surface would just be changes, looking at your 2-year credit history and et cetera, but I think it's going to be much more than that. I think it's going to be much bigger than that, because now you have January the 1st coming, and you already have banks and credit union notifying people of a digital wallet. And you have the IMF, and I don't think the Senate has passed this yet, but the IMF already notifying people of a digitalized dollar. You already have the USDC on Coinbase. You already have the digital dollar already on your Coinbase. And it is a stable coin. It's already set up. I didn't think I shared the Warren Buffett article with you all. So let's finish listening to, again, this is 6 years ago. This video is 6 years ago.
Greatest business school in the world, okay? Did I say a good thing? Yes. The Wharton Club, which is a great club. But I went to Wharton, and I will tell you that the very basics of that are that prices come tumbling down. So here we have, and we're buying from OPEC, and we're buying from Saudi Arabia. Also, great relationships with the people in Saudi Arabia. They cannot believe, by the way, because they're friends of mine. They can't believe how stupid we are. They tell me, "Hey, Donald, we're getting away with it. What are you?" I say, "You're right." Saudi Arabia is making, think of this, $1 billion a day. $1 billion a day. So much money. What they're doing there is unbelievable. You look at our airports. You look at your airport here. You look at your airport LaGuardia and Kennedy and Newark and LAX and Los Angeles. They're like third world country airports, falling apart. They have terrazzo floors inside that are so old. And when they fix them, they don't fix them with terrazzo, which would be terrible. Should rip them out, put down a new floor, right? They fix them with asphalt. So you walk in, you got terrazzo that's really tired in the main terminal. And then they put black asphalt from a road, an exterior road. And this is our roads are falling apart. Our bridges are falling apart. In China, they're building 24 bridges, most of which are bigger than the George Washington Bridge. I mean, just massive bridges, massive construction. They're taking our jobs. And we don't even know it. Then the president of China comes over, and we have a state dinner for him, honoring him. What a wonderful guy. And he's laughing all the way back to China. So it's all branding. But when you look at the things that are going on now in Afghanistan, we're spending tremendous amounts of money. And President Karzai, as you know, our president flew into Afghanistan. And President Karzai, who's getting sacks and sacks of cash, they're getting 50 million in cash. And this is, green. And I want to know, who is the soldier that's delivering the cash? That's what I want to know. Can you imagine? Do you trust somebody to hand? They're carrying satchels of cash because they're paying off the tribal leaders and the warlords. It's incredible. 50 million. I want to know, who are these people that are doing this? But Karzai said, I won't meet with the president, and I won't meet him at the plane. So you have the president of the country who spent, I guess we're close to $1 trillion there also, lands. And the president doesn't have the decency to come and pay his respects, even to just shake his hand. And I say to myself, That's very bad branding, because when you get right down to it, that's what we're talking about. That's pretty bad. It's pretty sad. So you look at Libya, you look at Syria, the line in the sand. Remember the famous line in the sand, and then nothing was done. Not that it should be done, and not that we should be involved, because we shouldn't be involved. But you don't say we're going to, do this or we're going to do that, and don't do, and then they do it, and then you don't follow up. And by the way, I don't want them to follow up, but you should have never made the statement. So we are in very, very serious trouble.
Okay. That's what he said in 2014. My question is, are we bankrupt like we were in 1933? Is China, Russia, and Iran have more power? Are you asking yourselves, how can the Dow Jones have a 30,000 historical return in the midst of millions of people unemployed? How can Wall Street, where is this money coming in? Is Tesla a $500 billion company, right? How can we have those gains with the Dow Jones historical high yesterday, 30K? Let's ask, how can even Bitcoin be at its high since 2017 of 19 and 20K? And this struggling economy. United States is $27 trillion in debt, people. And much of this debt is owed to China. 27 trillion is our national debt. Is this hyperinflation against the dollar? What will your second stimulus look like once the second stimulus is released in February? Will it be digital? You have your dollar to silver ratio at 4,279 per ounce, meaning that $4,279 were printed for the amount or per ounce of silver. And then you have gold, $32,637 printed per ounce of gold. Anything that is printed or that's available at in large increments loses its power, especially the purchasing power. If she loves, Cam said, if folks based on politics and not personality, they will never vote for Biden. He wrote the crime bill, which is one of the worst laws ever for Black and brown people. I just saw on Instagram, for example, that Kamala Harris, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and Dr. Claude Anderson gave input on this video of Kamala Harris and says, what can I do? What more can I do for Black people? I'm doing this for all people. She's a liberalist. And then even an interview of Barack Obama, and they asked what did he do for Blacks during his office and tenure. And he said over millions of Black people got Obamacare. But at the same token, he gave the American Jews $12 million for the Holocaust and somewhat of a reparations. What he offered to Blacks was Obamacare. And if you go on Twitter and you tweet, what did Obama do for the Black and brown community? That's what most people would say. Well, my child would not have had insurance without him. We would not be insured. They don't know that he did not approve reparations. For America, they had a direct correlation on slavery for the Black and brown community, but America, that had nothing to do with the Holocaust and Jews. $12 million. I can put an article up if you want to see it. Frankie says the USDC, which is the United States digital currency, USDC money runs alone. Blockchain, Algorand, I think blockchain settles. XRP, synthetic stable coins that settle cross-border transaction. And see, this is why you all need to get into crypto or need to study about cryptocurrency. Frankie, thank you for that comment. I keep forgetting to share the Warren Buffett and XRP connection. So let me pull that up as well. But I will put Obama administration Holocaust gives $12 million for American Jew survivors. Let's pull up this article. So the question again is, is the United States in bankrupt? How more expensive? Hyperinflation. Wow, I just said it. Get credit for going solar. They give you credit for anything that you're doing with the government doing. You'll get credits, right? Solar energy, what Russia and China just made this big $1 billion, I think it's $55 billion contract. Here it is, Obama administration earmarked $12 million for Holocaust survivors. The funds were distributed within 5 years. 1/4 of 130,000 U.S. victims. This was October the 2nd, 2015. So this in their 5-year time span, right? And the only thing that the Black and brown community, this was also initiated and launched in 2013 by President Joe Biden, address the needs of the survivor in the United States, Jewish Americans who live below the poverty line. And the most the Black and brown community would say is that my baby was able to get Obamacare. You know, we love to say my baby. So let's pull this up. Let's get into XRP real quick, and then I'm signing out. I think I forgot to share this about XRP. Exactly. Right. So I'm trying to reveal the truth now before these social credit scores get revealed, because they probably won't like me revealing the truth about this. And thanks to one of my followers who left this comment. Thank you. I was not aware. I did know that Warren Buffett sold his bank stocks for mining stocks of silver and gold. So the assets that the rich and wealthy are doing now is definitely cryptocurrency in preparation for the digital wallet, and definitely gold and silver and farmland, right? Again, I just saw Urban Leisure had a video with the Wall Street Trapper discussing why and how he invests in gold, right? So what's with Warren Buffett selling bank stocks? This is letting you know that the dollar will depreciate, right? So letting you know he's getting out of the banks. And what is he getting into? Governments are printing money and reducing interest rates to nearly zero. This depreciates the dollar even more. And in some cases, even negative. That means you're going to see increased price and your dollar's able to purchase less. This means you will pay also to keep your money in the banks. The way money works has changed. The governments have pulled off this arrangement. Listen at this, people. For over a decade, since the 2009 financial crisis. People are telling me, oh, the government don't know how to react to this. They're not prepared. They don't plan. They didn't know that this helped. Okay, you believe it. The government's fiscal stimulus package put money in the hands of Canadians, right? And they saved it because of the near zero interest rates. Investors are putting money into the stock market, driving to new highs. Again, who do you all think is boosting the stock market? Who do you think funded the stock market for the Dow Jones to reach 30K in the struggling economy? Definitely the Fed, because now people will run to the stock market. Like, let me get back into stocks, and the stock market is coming to rebound. And then in a couple of months, their money is gone, right? Wealth is never lost. It's simply transferred. So Warren Buffett sell banks and finance stocks. Berkshire Hathaway has sold more than $6 billion worth of stake, and not one, as LeBron James would say, not two, but 9 U.S. banks and finance stocks, including JP Morgan and Wells Fargo. Did you all know that JP Morgan hoarded over 350 million ounces of silver? That's 38% of the world's population. So why don't you know what true assets are, people? How are you going to grow your cash or the digital dollar when prices are skyrocketing, it's purchasing more. I read a quote that said that there will come a time where people will pass by a $20 bill in the street and will not pick it up. Right? If you know anything about Zimbabwe and their printing of their currency was so devalued that it took a wheelbarrow full of Zimbabwe printed money and currency to purchase one loaf of bread. So Warren Buffett completely exited his Goldman Sachs position. However, he increased his stake in Bank of America by 11.9% by adding $2 billion worth of shares. Why is this important? Because I just shared with you all on yesterday that Bank of America and now XRP are now partners, or they have formed their partnership. This is where Warren Buffett put $2 billion, right, of stocks into Bank of America. He let go of JP Morgan Chase and he let go of Wells Fargo. And so here's that article, November the 23rd, 2 days ago, confirms Bank of America as RippleNet client, which is XRP. And so you see the advances of XRP and XLM. So this offer payment solutions across all countries, across the border, right? And so this is the link that they need to send money internationally and instantly with low costs and fees, right? So, according to the video I just showed you, President Trump 2014, according to the information I shared with you about the social credit system, and we know what Fico 10 is leading. And according to the information that we don't know how much gold that the United States actually have, that China has been making connections and partnerships with other countries and has increased its gold. The question is the United States bankrupt? And if the United States is bankrupt, right, that means the middle class is going to shrink to a lower class. And it's going to be two classes, just the poor and the rich. And for some people, right, I share with you $20,000 cash, no credit check against Bitcoin. Maybe credit can't even save you anymore, right? Used to be a time that at least with credit, right, you can reuse it, recycle it over and over again. Credit was more valuable than cash because of their purposes. And cash lost so much of its purchasing power, what it's able to purchase. Will you be locked out of the American dream because you don't know what true assets are? Some people mindset is on the holidays, right? The new Jordans or PlayStation 5. People, let me tell you something. They are referring to this as, and maybe you need to get on YouTube and YouTube the 1933 Great Depression. They are saying what we, right, will experience is the Great Depression 2.0. The Great Depression 2.0. Do the best you can to prepare. Thank you, Melvin, my king, for the $20 super chat. I thank you and team Model Productions. Thank you so much. Social media credit system. Will credit repair help moving forward with the implementation of Fico 10? They already had the resilience score in place that can track if you income-wise will qualify for loans. And if Bitcoin is not an asset moving forward, why would you be able to get a $20,000 cash, no credit check loan against it, against your Bitcoin if you hold it? Digital wallets, blockchain, you need to do your study research. Definitely silver and gold. Anytime there's a monetary reset, money has to be used to reset the currency system, which is physical, tangible silver and gold. A lot of people ask where. You also need protection. Make sure you stack up on protection to defend yourself, because it's going to be a time where there will be the haves and the have-nots. Some great places to buy. And also, you can look on my website, fixmycreditandcash.com, and because silver will give you a greater return on your investment. And I have a silver stacking report. I show you what silver coins or bullions that you can invest in. Again, because silver is twofold. It's just not monetary. Silver was actually used for money before gold was, right? But silver and gold is 5,000 years of time improving method. Cannot be man-made, cannot be reproduced, right? All about God's money. And so I have a silver stacking report on my website, www.fixmycreditandcash.com, for a small investment of $35, where you can know the best places that I recommend in purchasing your silver or gold. And silver mining stocks, definitely want to keep ahead of that. Silver spot price right now is like $24, very affordable, right? To convert your cash into as insurance, right? And so this is it, Queen of Coins Silver Stacking Reports. You have 10 physical coins and 7 mining stocks. The number 5 coin on the list will bring a 300% return on investment, right? But these are additionally, then you have the digital gold, which is Bitcoin, right? Digital gold and other altcoins, blockchain, Chainlink has definitely given people great returns. A lot of these chain links, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to get used to my hair and all this kind of stuff, so just forgive me. I don't have my crochets where I usually pull on it and play in it and put it in the bun. I got to get used to it. Hello, Madam Champ. Hello, hello, hello. And yes, have food shortage all coming. Farmland would be a great asset as well. So I can't even come before you right now and tell you with the social credit score what can be done to help people improve their credit. Now, I do know that Fico is not going anywhere, right? You're still going to have Fico, but now you're going to have a combination of social credit score. It's going to be backed by your surveillance cameras that's put up all across the United States. It's going to be able to monetize what you do by the digital wallets and the banking system being able to move digital. And if you have any social media platforms, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, your behavior on these platforms, even insurances, it's all about power and control. And I do think for the next 5 or 10 years that Bitcoin will thrive. I don't think, however, that the Feds will give anyone too much power over the currency. Many people think that, President Trump is pulling troops right now out of Afghanistan, 2,500 troops, simply in preparation of maybe World War IV. I don't know. What I can tell you is every economist is telling you to look into Bitcoin, gold, silver, farmland, and protection. Here in Mississippi, there's only one place right now that you can buy any type of weaponry protection, that if you do hold these assets, that you can protect you and your family, even food, right? Even if you're a person that has farmland and you're able to produce your own food, you're going to need to protect people from stealing it and home invasions and maybe more riots. These are things that people are investing in to get prepared. So I just want to come before you live. Listen, you all have a happy, happy Thanksgiving. If you are spending this time with your loved ones, do it. Don't do it in fear, right? Do it in faith. Spend time with the people you love. 2020 has definitely been a year that shows us you can be here today and gone tomorrow. My God, so many. I just saw a famous soccer player, I forgot his name, passed away at the age of 60, right? You got Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, you got Wakanda, just so many things. So if you have that time and opportunity to spend with your loved ones, do it out of faith and fear. I've been coming before everyone all year, informing about the Fico 10. Now I'm looking at, and as you can just put in your search engine on YouTube, it is not much information about the social credit score. I had to dig in and I found it in a book, right? And I had to do some due diligence and I had to connect the dots of what the social credit score would be, right? Thank you, Jesus, Diego. I can't pronounce their last name, but just so many people. And just, even with everybody's loved one who had already had an illness, right? That, this radiation didn't agree with their bodies and they're already struggling with an illness and have gone on. So build your immunity, definitely get you some zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D. Another antibody that I have, but it's in my kitchen, so I don't know if I feel like getting that I take. Just do the best you can. Gymnasiums are shutting down. Get out, walk, get your exercise, right? If you follow, what's his name? Dick Gregory, YouTube, search that as well. He always talked about the best form of exercise is walking anyway and drinking water, getting enough of your water intake. And people, I hope, and just know taxes will explode as well next year. So I hope that you have enrolled with me as a business partner in the home-based business. So if you have not, again, you go to my website, fixmycreditandcash.com. People are going to need an insurance, just like gold, silver, and Bitcoin is an insurance against the dollar that's depreciating in value. You need insurance against taxes. Taxes are going to explode, right? So definitely do your research. Anything you can find on Bitcoin, gold, silver, farmland, protection, right? It's going to be high commodity, high assets. Stay on top of the digital wallets. The USDC coin is already available on Coinbase. Supposed to be implementation January 1st. If you're just not coming in, watch those videos about the social credit score at the beginning of this live stream and the powerful video. You need to watch this more than once. That President Trump, I shared with him in 2014, right? So Martin says he is fixing cornbread and stuffing. Martin, make sure you mail that to me. Let me taste some of that cornbread and stuffing. No, a country girl loves country food. Okay, thank you. I will. If that's available on Netflix, I have not seen it. In time, I have not seen that. If it's available on Netflix, I definitely, when I get off this live stream, will try to search that and watch that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Another, was it Contentment? Someone else told me to watch a Netflix. Containment on Netflix. I don't know. That looked a little scary. I didn't know if they wanted, I don't know if I want to watch that, but they said similar to this health epidemic. In 2016, an epidemic breaks out in Atlanta. And so containment, man, I haven't watched it yet, but I definitely will look into that and In Time with Justin Timberlake. Hey, thank you all for tuning in again. Happy Thanksgiving. You all be safe, right? And do what you have to do to get true assets, because just know this is going to be even more or less valuable in 2021 with the implementation of taxes and the digital wallet and banks and credit unions. Here's to your peace and prosperity, your health and your wealth and your credit and your cash flow. Queen of Credit out.